Hello and welcome to my review of the Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team Pariah Nexus. Now, one of these box sets will set you back £95 and consists of 5 Space Marine Primaries Heavy Intercessors, a Heavy Intercessor Captain with a mastercrafted heavy bolt rifle and power sword, the Necron Chronomancer and 5 Necron Flayed Ones. It also consists of about 500 little pieces of scenery and a pack of cards and a 110-page kind of rule book and a build instruction guide. I've said this many times and I'll say it again. Just because I purchased this does not mean by any means that I agree with it. I've said that I've gone on record to say that this is a very sneaky way of Games Workshop paywalling you into getting hold of these absolutely lovely miniatures. Miniatures that have been previewed and hyped up since August of 2020, so a fair amount of time has passed, and to then release them in a set that's costing you about £100 is not the best way to go, in my opinion. And I do question just how many sets people will be buying. I think the majority of people will be buying them just to recycle the sprues inside them. What I mean by that is buying these sets and selling the Intercessors and the Flayed Ones and the Chronomancer separately. You can still pick up the box set for about £80 from a third party. So you're still saving £15, but it's still a large amount of money to drop on what is essentially 12 plastic miniatures, if you want to look at it that way. Now, I know there will be defenders of this saying, well, it's a kill team, it's an expansion, it's a separate game system. Okay, I understand that. Where are the dice? You compare this to the other kill team sets and they're arguably better, even the Space Wolf and the Tau one. Kill team is all about you know, setting up a game very fast over a lunchtime or something like that. When you've got over 40 little scenery pieces, that's going to be a bit of an effort. And I know you don't have to set up all 40 scenery pieces, they're just to add a bit of flavour to the games, but I'd much rather have a kill team set that has you know, 2 or 3 bits of scenery for these small groups to fight around. So this is a bit of a repeat from the Rogue Trader kill team set that came out a good couple of years ago. Now, if you're only here to look at the minis and for my video to help you decide whether it's worth picking up the set just for those minis, bearing in mind Games Workshop have recently gone on record to say that both the Heavy Intercessor unit and the Flayed Ones will be available to buy separately in their own kits in 2 months' time, in May. I'm not sure about the Chronomancer and the Captain because they didn't highlight those. But if time is of the issue, and at the moment it seems for a lot of people time has stood still, that's not a pun because there's a Chronomancer in the set, it's merely a point to make in terms of why would you need to rush out and get these 2 units. You know, it probably is better to wait for them to be released separately. Price wise though, I know a lot of people have already made public comments to say they can't wait for these sets to be individually. Well, if you're going to buy them all individually, then you're going to be spending more money. So if you want to spend more money on the same amount, then by all means you can buy them separately, but I think that this set is still going to offer you more value if you're interested in all of the units in here. If you're only interested in like the Chronomancer or only the Heavy Intercessors, then yes, it's going to be better for you to buy them individually when they're released. But if we're talking about prices, I can't see those Heavy Intercessors being any less than about £40. The reason why I say that is because they've just released Eradicators for £31.50 and you only get 3, and it's a similar kind of set in terms of lots of heads, plenty of weapon options, different poses and so on. So I would say about £40 for that set. The Captain is going to be £23 minimum, so that's £63. The Chronomancer is going to be £21 minimum because of the Psychomancer being that price. So now we're talking about £84, which is already £4 more than buying this set, you know, from a third party. The flayed ones, again, I think the Games Workshop are going to try and charge £30 for these, just based on, you know, the current old kit, the Lich Guard for 5 models of about 30. So you're looking at about £114 worth of minis, just the minis, not including the scenery and the double-sided board and the, you know, the rule book. If you haven't purchased a Kill Team set already, then this may well be your entry point. So yes, overall, if you are interested in all these minis, this set is still value over buying them separately. I just wish that they had the foresight to release all of these units individually at the same time. I know it's an additional SKU, and I know times are still pretty difficult for people and businesses, but I think bundling some of these sprues, literally you just got to get those flayed one sprues. It's just one sprue, put it in the flayed ones box, and then just ship it out. In my mind, I don't see that is too taxing, but you know, I don't work for Games Workshop, and I don't know the ins and outs of all the logistics behind such a thing. I mean, technically you're looking at having to ship those individual SKUs to all of the countries, to all of the stores, pretty much at the same time. I mean, you know, Games Workshop do these worldwide releases of their kits, which must cost them a huge amount to do. Anyway, moving aside from the costs and things, as I say, the board is all right. Let me just move down and things, and we can have a little look at the board. It's an all right board. You know, it's already warped a little bit. It might just be my table, but so yeah, bear that in mind. And I have kept it completely flat, so it's gone a little bit like that. I haven't kept it in the sun or anything. You've got the scenery pieces, which I've tried to move them all over here just so that they don't clutter up the board and distract you from the awesome minis there. But yeah, as you can see, you get 40 or so of these things, and I'm gonna paint them one day. It seems a bit of a waste of Retributor armor spray, but I probably will do it at some point. You get these doors as well, because we're supposed to be in some kind of Nexus tomb thing, so you've got these, which I guess are all right. You know, it's a shame, because I like scenery kits that you can use on multiple boards and multiple battlefields and things, and I'm not sure whether these can. I guess these are the oil drums of the Necrons nowadays. You know, you could have a few of these on a board and have a, you know, include these in a narrative game. But still, I'm a big fan of Xenos scenery, and I like to support it wherever. But I just think that these scenery pieces are a bit lackluster. I think they could have done something else with these. Actually have, like, do I say coffins? Yeah, I'd probably say coffins and tombs and things like that. Maybe have a couple of them with Necrons crawling out of them. I don't know. There's so much scope, isn't there, with Necrons to create some amazing looking scenery. Anyway, in terms of the minis then, let's just do a run through. Now, if you do type in these units into YouTube, you'll find my individual reviews of the sets. Let's start off with the Primaries Intercessors. These are the heavy Intercessors. Yes, believe it or not, they're all in Gravis armor, but they are a troop choice, which is fantastic. You know, you can take 2 units of these, 5. If you did buy a separate set when they're released, which I am certainly going to do, you've got enough changes in the poses to make them a little bit individual, but moving past 10, they're going to look very samey. Okay, now this is just one example of them. They look really cool. They've got the heavy bolt rifles. You know, they are 36-inch range, decent strength, decent AP. They've got the 3 wounds each. They've got a good armor save. They're just lacking that invulnerable save. And will we ever get heavy intercessors with assault weapons like big thunderhammers or power fists or anything like that? I know we've got aggressors which have the fists, but yeah, maybe we will get some assault weapons, because if they can hold these heavy bolt rifles, I'm pretty sure they can hold other things. You know, the I also think that they should have had some kind of extra rule where they can move and fire their heavy weapons. You know, they're massive, chunky. You know, that would have been great, considering that, I don't know, that Chaos Space Marine Havocs can move and shoot. These chunky boys, I think that would be pretty awesome if they could do that. Speaking of another chunky boy, here is the Heavy Intercessor Captain with mastercrafted heavy bolt rifle and power sword. Really, really nice captain. He's got the cape there, fair bit of detail on him. Just a nice looking mini that will add to your long range fire support of your Heavy Intercessors. If you want a shooty Space Marine army comprising of mainly Heavy Intercessors, you can do now. You can get one. Now let's move over to the Necron Force. You've got this Chronomancer, which is one of the best crypt techs out there. He's got his invulnerable save. He's got an aura ability that can give Dynasty units nearby a 5+ invulnerable and reroll their charge rolls, so that's very handy for Lich Guard with the War Scythes, for the Flayed ones, even for your normal Necron Warriors or Immortals. It's great that he's given that invulnerable save. And his staff, he's not the best in close combat. If you've got him in close combat, you've done something wrong. He's better off firing bolts of whatever out of one of the 2 versions of staffs that he comes with. I think he's a cool model, and there's enough differences with him and a second one to warrant getting a second one, which I believe you will get one in the Warhammer Imperium subscription. Now then, the Flayed ones. Wow, one of the most difficult kits I've ever had the pleasure of putting together. I built them in the live stream. They're 1 sprue, but don't let that fool you. They are all monopose. They don't have any spare parts, unlike the Heavy Intercessors, which are like a full multi-part kit. The Flayed ones are just 1 sprue. All the parts you will use, and they only come in these 1 poses without heavy modification. And you know, I wouldn't want to modify them because they are such a difficult model to modify, a difficult model to build in the first instance. The parts are small, they're fiddly, they rely on some areas such as the hips and the legs. There's not predefined places for them to slot in. The arms do slot in okay, but again, they're quite fiddly. The heads go in fiddly. They've got the spines, they've got pieces of skin on them. I would have preferred a multi-part, multi-pose kit for the Flayed ones, whereby you've got the accessories and extra hands and arms and legs and, you know, skin that you could just fashion onto them. I think they've done a good job with how morbid they are, but I would have just liked Games Workshop to turn that dial up to an 11 and give them more accessories to really highlight the grim darkness of the 41st millennium and what they're capable of doing, even if it's just in the form of optional accessories that you can place on them. And also, if they had done that, I think people would have been more inclined to buy them separately when they're released, because of the nature of the kit and the single poses and the lack of accessories. I won't be buying a second set. Also mainly because you're going to get one in the Imperium subscription, but still, if they had all of the accessories and things, then yeah, I think that would have been a better way to go. Nothing stopping you from using a load of green stuff and getting your hobby on and adding bits and pieces yourself to make them as morbid as you possibly can. But as I said in my review, I would have liked to have seen them with extra bits and pieces, considering they're a unit of up to 20. And then we get onto the book. Now the book, you know, has the 112 pages. It's got the not only the rules for these units, but as someone has pointed out, it's got also the kill team rules for other Necron units, which is a little bit, you know, naughty. Maybe they'll release this book separately or later on, but yeah, you've also got the Plasmancer, the Psychomancer, so if you're up for getting kill team rules for them, then they are here. Similar to the 40k rules, of course, but yeah, you've got them right here too. Looks very similar, doesn't it? You know, the Chronomancer's rules. It's got specialists there though as a commander, and you've got the Technomancer, Death Marks, Flayed Ones. Now Flayed Ones, not much has changed there compared to the normal 40k rules, but they don't have that you know, extra weapon profile. Dotted about the book you do get some nice close-up images of the models, you know, which will give you inspiration for when you come to paint them, and again there, and what they're doing with the flesh. You've got kill teams, you've got some match play missions as well, and then this is the crypt, and these are something that's really easy for me to pronounce. Let me have a go at this one. Is it a thermic anus? No, it's a thermionic annulus. Okay, right, well, second time's a charm. And yeah, close confines, and there's the board. So yeah, it's all right. I would have preferred hardback. They can pump out these hardback books. It's made in China anyway, so why not just give us a hardback? You know, even for this 100-page book or so, I've now seen codex supplements at 60 pages with hardback. You know, for a rule book as well with Kill Team, I think if this had a hardback book and a different variation of scenery, then I would wholeheartedly support it. But as it stands, and as I stand, it really is up to you just how much you're after these two units, and whether you can hold out for couple more months and get them individually. But as I said at the start of the video, if you want all of these units in this box set, it still is going to be cheaper than getting them all individually when they're released, but only by the price of say you know, the Chronomancer. In a way, you're getting the Chronomancer or Heavy Intercessor Captain for free. What do you guys think of this Kill Team Pariah Nexus? Do you agree with me that it's a pretty bold move for Games Workshop to sell 4 brand new units in this box set only for a limited time? They're definitely still using the strategy of the fear of missing out. However, it does backfire, and the whole world situation right now is such a time where it does backfire, because there aren't many games playing, and there is even another codex about to be released, a second codex in fact, of an army that probably hasn't had any games, which is a strange time to be in. But what do you guys think of this set? I purchased it for the channel. I understand if you do hit that dislike button, it's not so much the fact that I've gone out of my way to get the set, to review all the miniatures and create all this content. I would take that as a dislike to Games Workshop and the set itself. Having said that, I will also take your like of the video as a like of me creating this content, rather than a like of the set itself. But thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.